Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Just let me know if you can hear me, if you're there. If you're not, let me know you hear me. Anyhow, we have got Avatar here. It says, Hi, Meran, 39 male UK. Thank you for that. Says, I turn 40 tomorrow. Hey, wonderful. Don't sleep. So you'll remain 39. What an age you'll be, 40. Man's strongest and most balanced and rounded age is between 40 and 50. In my case, it's just never ends, but I'm talking about regular people. uh, I remember when I was 40, before I was 40, I thought, wow, you know, people at their age, they must be really old. I remember when I was like, I don't know, 12 or 13, or even maybe 15. I had four uncles, and one of them was 31 years old. I said, wow, he's probably close to death. That's very old. And when I was 20, I thought, oh, okay, I'm still very young. Yeah, okay. But 40 is very old. Then when I was 40, I thought, wow, I'm strong and just as ever. So maybe 50 is old. So when I was 50, I said, 50? Very powerful, very good. So I don't know, maybe 70. So I'm gonna try to see when is the old time. I probably think it's probably mostly it's on our heads that we think we should be old or feel old when we are at a certain age. Again, that's part of the conditionings that we've received throughout our age and throughout our lives, and throughout whatever motivations these politicians and product manufacturers and mediums have had. So you need to keep yourself free from the influences that are not pertaining to you, and do not generalize thinking that you're not unique and it's just one of the masses. Every single one of us can create that certain atmosphere in which we can grow and strive and prosper better and be more balanced, depending on what works for you and what activities and lifestyle that you've chosen to follow. Anyhow, happy birthday tomorrow, and wish you have another 40 years of all the good things that happened to you during these past 40 years. Isn't that the wish of all of us? And he says, what's the best advice you have for someone turning 40? I just gave you. You're just starting to realize your powers and your well-roundedness. You're at the age where you have enough wisdom and still very powerful physically, fit, keep yourself fit, eat healthy food, whatever that is. Check your signs as far as, knowing how much exercise you should do for if your blood pressure, cholesterol, all these things, check them out and find as much as possible natural remedies to deal with them. Don't be lazy. If you have to exercise, exercise. Get off your butt and do whatever you can so you don't have to rely on the medicines and things that somehow, someday, it might actually be the only way to go. But until then, you try your best to live naturally, help yourself and your immune system, your system to function as it's designed for by adhering to proper nutrition, exercise, mindfulness exercises, physical exercises, and relaxation methods, and being involved in positive activities in life. So, in fact, you will enhance and help what and how we're designed to help ourselves be nourished and nurture ourselves. And he says, I'm single father, working and still looking for love. Well, You have your love. That child that you're single father, that's where your love should be focused on. The love that you have for your child is of a different echelon of love. It is a pure love with no expectations and total unselfishness. And if you submerge yourself into that fatherhood role of being a father, nurturing your child to become the entity that it deserves to be, whether it's a boy or a girl you're fathering, cherish them, spend time with them, do sports with them, homework with them, travel with them, share with them, learn from them, teach them. They'll be your best friend. That's the only time you can bond with them the way that you never can later. So stop looking for love. It's right there. And when you keep sending these abilities to nurture and protect and teach and share and learn from your best buddy, your child, then that inertia of care and positivity and responsibility will fill out your surroundings, which would lure wonderful, amazing women who are looking for such a man. So, all the best and power to you. Jay says, what Jay Bartkis says, oh, you're talking to Aftar, okay. And Guiding Words says, hi, dear Marin. Hello, dear. Please don't forget to help me out a little bit as far as your gender, age, where you're tuning in from, so I know a little bit about who I'm talking to. I may forget, and so on. So, Team for Wood could have different connotations there, which I won't touch. It says, how long should I wait? How long should I wait till you actually go through the protocol and let me know your gender, age, and where you're tuning in from? And I'll get back to you. And Guiding Word says 24 NL, male. What is NL? Newland? Not a level land. Never, never land. Netherlands? And North something. There we go. I said Netherlands. Ha! Gotcha. so, 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 Guiding Word says, my girlfriend broke up with me since her mom didn't approve of me. Oh, okay. Well, did you want to date mom? What does she got to do with it? How old is your girlfriend? Is she what, less than 20? That mom still is in there, or what kind of a background, cultural background is it that they have been looking at you as the future husband, maybe, and they've been judging you based on what they think is good for their daughter or what they expect their daughter's life to be through the husband, rather than focusing on the daughter knowing how to lead her own life, be active in her own career, and then choose a husband based on compatibility rather than opportunity or provisions or what her life should be shaped um, in as the result of the husband's achievements. That's probably the problem. And Guiding Word says she's 23. Says, but family is very important, and her father died. That's an Arabic culture indeed. Ah, I see. Okay. Where are you from? Are you not Arab as well? Or you know, I need these information, guys. If you guys want to get into a conversation with me, you know, give me the info. Throw me the bone, as Dr. Evil says. So so don't expect me. I mean, I'm good, but not that good. I can't read minds and I can't really figure things out if I'm not given. Guiding word says also. So you're also Arab, and both live, immigrated, or born in Netherlands, or however. You're both in the same, coming from same cultural background. So says, and both are Christian, so we have strong family values. But the Arabs, being Muslim, also have very strong family values. So being Christian, Muslim makes no difference as far as both of you share similar values as you explained. So my question is, again, there's so many information that I need. How long have you guys each been living outside of um, an Arab country? When did you immigrate there? Were you born there? Were you raised there? How about your parents? When did they immigrate? What mentality they're still at? These are all the information that I need. Just while you provide that, if you will, as much as you can, I'm going to turn some lights on here. All right. So until you get back to me, I go to, oh, there it is. Says, we are both born and raised here. We have almost the same upbringing and we share 90% of values. I just have a hard time accepting that it's all because of her mom. You know, you talk about values as if it's something constant. It would have been correct if the consciousness is woven, the weave of the consciousness would be something that is constant and it's been forged once and for all. But it's not. We are sentient beings and we respond to situations and we learn and analyze and make judgments, and we change our values when we see those values is outdated or not working, or it's been a fake type of focus that we were conditioned to pay attention to, although it was not beneficial or unbiased way of looking at something. So your values that you're so keen on, we share 90% of our values. What are the set values? Values are different for different people. And you may have a different value for the same set of circumstances at a second or third time of same circumstances present themselves in your life. In other words, if you meet a situation where there are certain facts and evidences or activities or conditions are present, you react to that particular situation in a certain way based on the conditionings you have received in your consciousness. But because of that interaction and experience, your consciousness modifies itself to find a better, a more advanced, and more balanced way of dealing with such situation should it ever again arise. So the next time that this sort of similar situations and events happen into your life, your consciousness have already been modified since the last level of its understanding and formation. So now the values that you used to deal with the same situation last time are now altered because of that experience that you had last time. So now you're going to deal with it with different set of binoculars or glasses, different set of lenses, because your values, your ability to analyze and see things that you couldn't see based on the level of consciousness that you had at that time are changed. You're now more expert. You can see more detail. You have more ammunitions and logics and philosophies and knowledge of that same circumstance. Therefore, you make different decisions and different pathways to deal and negotiate with that circumstance. So this is what you call, we share 90% of the values. These values are not a set constant and absolute that you're supposed to meet them and share. Oh, these are 20 values when we have 18 of them. Let's get the other two. No, all those values that you share may all change in every single one of you the next time that it happens. How that change comes about is going to be different in each one of you. Consciousness is a dynamic place. So let me explain it this way. Imagine a vertical wall woven with certain material where when it's placed in the tennis court, you can stand about 10 meters away and hit the ball with your racket to this flexible wall. Before it was concrete wall, come back in a certain way. And now you practice on yourself alone. You hit the ball to this curtain, flexible curtain, and then it bounces back to you. Or even if it's a concrete wall, two people standing in front of it, you have the same rackets, same level of experience in tennis. You hit the ball to the wall, it comes back to you. Now you change this wall to a woven material that is designed to react to the event. In this case would be the ball hitting it, and it would send the ball in a different trajectory, different location, based on what angle it was introduced to it, how you hit the racket, how you held it, what position your foot was, which foot was forward, how you pulled your arm. There's so many variables, but it's all a racket, a human being, and a ball and the wall. But depending on which part of the elastic ball, the woven elastic wall you hit, the ball will react differently. And you hit it the same way again, because the wall has been stretched a couple of times in this game, in this exercise time, it would now react to the same speed of the ball, the same trajectory, the same hit differently, because the woven material has been worked a little bit. It now understands or reflects to the hit differently. So it's not always going to end up going to the same place. Reaction of the wall in regards to the ball is not going to be sending the ball the same place every time you hit it in the same way, because dynamically is having an effect on the woven material of this wall, so it reacts differently. The brain is the same. The consciousness, every time you have an experience based on the conditionings of the content of your consciousness, you react in a certain way. But because of that reaction, you have now modified your way of dealing with it, because that experience has now created a certain different understanding and abilities to that content of the consciousness. So the way you're going to be dealing with situations in life, which it creates your values, supposedly, as we talked here, conditioning of the contents of your consciousness. She is going to be dealing with it differently, even though it's the same event. And when it's all different reactions, it's going to leave a different signature on the consciousness, which modifies the consciousness in a little different way. So how can you be sure that throughout your marriage or throughout your relationship, you will always have and share the same kind of a 90% of the values that you have in common now in the future as well? You're going to have different changes. So what's the problem having some certain differences now? They could actually become more compatible later on. And if it's compatible now, it could be not so compatible later on, because there is no guarantee how you're going to react to the events of life, even if your values are the same. Imagine a couple that they end up having a child, and they love their child to bits. They both share seemingly same values. And definitely in the case of upbringing and caring and loving their child, they both share 100% same values. Protection, care, responsibility, attention, all that, same. But if the child happens to be challenged with a certain kind of an illness, that they have to go through certain steps and certain processes until the child recovers. Once the child recovers, the effects of this experience of danger and anxiousness and responsibility and the attack on the psyche of these two parents, because of the child's facing a danger, dealing with an illness, once the child is recovered and healthy again, each parent have now been affected, even though through the same event, differently. And each one would react now in a different mode, which could actually cause the two people who were really seemingly compatible at their youth no longer compatible, and they end up divorcing. Not because they simply have become different people, and they didn't share similar values, at least to some point before they got married. That's why they got married, because they found they were fond of each other. But the events of life, even though they share the same values, would cause their consciousness go through them and be successful in dealing with it, but then the effects of it on them, on their own psyche, would turn them into not having so many things in common, because the remedy to recover from what they went through for each would be different. They take different paths because the consciousness has been modified, or it has different needs at the time that the ordeal or the danger is past. So there is no guarantee that if you guys have things in common at the beginning, at the outset of the relationship, is going to continue regardless of what happens and what you're going to be dealing together during this relationship. And sometimes when you're not really that compatible, to a reason, it should be at least, mostly compatible. Through the events of life, you may actually get closer to each other. So, what you're saying here, it really is you're following the agenda or the conditioning that the mother has received in her consciousness. She finds you not what is suitable for her daughter. What is suitable for her daughter? What does she want? What is she offering? What is she bringing to the table that makes her so amazingly out of this world, that the mother does not approve of a man who is decent, caring, and provides and is as normal as it could be? That's what I'm guessing you are. Like, you're not a negative, obnoxious ill-behaved or ill-intended person. That's the assumption, which I believe it's a logical assumption. So the question is, why are you responding to what the mother's expectation is, as if the mother could be right, or if there's anything wrong with you, or that you accept that you're not good enough for the daughter because she says so? Why not you question the fact, what is she bringing to my life that I'm supposed to be bigger or better than what I am? And in what way? More money? What is it that you think I'm not good enough? Am I supposed to be a servant to your daughter? No. I'm a man, and I like a woman, and we're equal. And in some ways, I'm the master. And in some ways, she's the queen, depending what our expertise in that certain circumstance of life calls for. Sometimes she's the boss, she's the leader. Sometimes I am. And in certain other ways, it's between the two of you who will lead at this particular situation, or who will not, who will follow. Or she may say, well, I think in these sort of cases, when it's not personal to me, I would like to be coordinated with your way of thinking. Or you might say, I think since you're more educated than me, you're more experienced than me, I would like to follow you in all these different venues. And then we will decide as the situation arises how we can coordinate our abilities to get to a result that we both benefit from. And it's not about who necessarily calls a shot, it's about which pathway is more suitable for what we want to achieve in this life and the balance that we're looking for. So these are things that is between the two of you. The mother should butt out if you guys are really serious about and the fact that you know each other. And lastly, what does she think about all these? If she has no point about why you're not good enough, if she thinks that you are good enough, the rest of it is up to her to deal with her mother. You're not there to sell yourself beyond a certain point, which is being decent, cordial, respectful. That's all. If the mother doesn't like you, too bad. It's not like you try to make her not like you. If the girl understands that and the shortcomings of her mother is apparent to her, then she will deal with it. If she doesn't, well, it's time to move on, because she's also not being logical about what's positive about you two and your relationships. And she's just following a certain kind of expectations that the mother has, which is probably unreasonable. And she's also following the same unreasonability, could be following the money, following certain things that she knows she can't do it herself. So let me just sell myself to the highest bidder. And if you don't have enough money, if you don't have enough this and that, or job and whatnot, I'll wait until I get a better chance. She's 24, and the mother is probably, now there's no father involved. So the mother is probably thinking, I got to try to find something who provides a better, more comfortable life for her. That's a motherly thinking. That's accepted and respected. But beyond that, it's being unreasonable, and there could be time that you should just simply say, hasta la vista, baby. But talk to her and express your concerns. Nothing better than proper positive conversation between the two couple. Speak with her, says, listen, honey, what is it that you think your mother has any point in this? If you also share her values and the fact that I'm not good enough for you, that's granted. I respect that, and I give you a hug, and we separate, go our merry ways, and I wish you find what you're looking for. And because this is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a woman who actually likes me for my credentials and my behavior and my philosophy in life and what I follow, what I'm trying to accomplish. But if you want something ready-made and doesn't take much time, I guess you may want to have lunch at McDonald's. So there we go. All right. Yeah, the mother has her own psychological conditions, as I can hear here. That's not your responsibility. You talk to her, and if she doesn't want to understand it, you just say, "Okay, fine." You know, there's so many amazing women out there that they may just surprise you, and you least expect it. All right, and we're gonna go back to Team Forward. He says that he is 34 male. Where from, Team Forward? What's the background? Will you kindly give me the information that we need? Gender, age, where you're tuning in from, which country, city are you sitting there living? And if it's not the same country that you were born and raised in, let me also know which cultural background you come from, where you live, which cultural background, how old you are, and now we know it's 34 male. I know that. Which country or city you live in, and what is your cultural background? Is it the same nationality, or you immigrated to this new place? And we have Ash. Ash says, "Hi, Meran, and everyone else. I'm not really here to ask a question because there are too many to ask." Okay, not enough characters, um, and not enough time either. Just want to say I'm extremely stressed. I got attacked twice this week by two different people. Attacked in what way? Physically or verbally? On two different occasions, I seem to be handling everything wrong in my life, even though I'm trying to amend it. By attack, I mean physically. Oh, but I'm not hurt, just in shock. I'm good at handling confrontations and adrenaline and myself usually, but it was girls attacking me, and I will not hit girls. Okay, that's the right thing. You never, ever raise hand on the girls, but you don't sit and wait and stand to get hit either. Just move on. Get out of the door. And says, I don't know why I'm saying any of this shit. I'm to blame for most of my own problems, but I'm struggling to do anything about them because I'm stressed as fuck now as a result of inaction. Also, I've behaved in a way that I am ashamed of, said things I'm ashamed of, and have hurt my reputation and character, and hurt others too. No self respect or integrity left. Went over. Went over, but I still don't know what the hell happened. Why did they beat you up, these girls, these ninjas? Why did they beat you up? And what did you do? Were you inappropriate? I don't think so. You're an appropriate man. At least I think so. So, what makes a woman to hit a man who I doubt if it was Christy. It wasn't your girlfriend, was it? And if he wasn't, which I don't think, you guys obviously are uh, cordially discussing your challenges, problems. But what was the circumstance for this female ninja attack on your physical person? Perhaps you need to go to some martial arts studios and start working out, getting ready for these, you know. Oh, my goodness, that's news. Says one of them was Christy. Really? The other one was her friend, who is a loose cannon. Oh, well, that I don't. I guess that needs a discussion. Perhaps at some point you can coordinate something with me and we'll chat about it on Skype, because I don't think this would be a place unless you want to go ahead and reveal the 2-on-1, which is a dream of every man, but not being attacked. So you have half of the dream of every man having come to fruition for you. 2 women. But unfortunately, they both were on the wrong side of the intention. And he says, I can defend myself. Haha, yeah, of course you can. But a gentleman would never raise hand on a woman. Our job in this world is to protect, safeguard, and hold high in value a woman. Protect them. Even if it comes to them attacking you, you defend yourself to not to be hurt, but you do not hit women, and you just leave the scene if they become violent. Unless they've got a knife coming at you or a gun, then you got to do what you got to do to disarm the situation. And then you go call the authorities and deal with it that way. He says, I can defend myself. Haha, they didn't really hit me, just tried. Then you wussy, shut the hell up and don't make them seem like they're monsters. Women always want to hit us. So you got to be appreciating. That's a sort of a paying attention to you. I prefer to have that kind of attention than being ignored, at least. Not really. And since they just didn't like what I had to say, but also because I stand up for myself. Yeah, but you stand up for yourself in front of women who one of them is your girlfriend and the other one is the loose cannon girlfriend's protector, so to speak. And Christy probably has told her that you're doing this and that and you're always into yourself, or you're not, whatever she has said. And the girl is trying to bond with the girlfriend and trying to be kind of the voice of reason in front of her and protect her, and comes up with that kind of a disposition, which is not her place to help Chrissy in that way, to create that kind of a fuss. It should be left to privacy of 2 people who can discuss things logically and figure out what their problems are. But and he says, but Christy is understandably becoming more and more angry with me, and things have been extremely tense, but no excuse for attacking me. Well, I'm not taking side because I really don't know what's going on here, especially that I know you have said to me that Christy has been such a wonderful, understanding girl for so many long time right now. So let's look at the ones that we have access to, which is you. Perhaps your reaction, I don't know what it was, to whatever the situation was a little bit overly sensitive, due to the fact that you wanted to recover from a certain reputation that you've gained in her mind during the past many months, and you overreacted on a comment maybe they made or an observation they made, and you wanted to protect your image and prove to them that you're better than what they say you are. So you got angry and you said certain things that were hurtful and you provoked them. I'm not saying what they did was correct. I'm saying you should only see how much of the role you had in turning a person or people who didn't originally intend to harm you to want to harm you in a very non-threatening way, of course. So what I'm trying to say is that what the hell did you say? How did you say it? It's not always necessarily what you say that provokes someone or creates a problem, especially to your loved one. It's how you say it. There's always a form and a content in a communication. Sometimes the content could be very, very logical and meaningful, but the form that is being delivered is so nasty and insulting that it loses the content and they're just focusing on how it was delivered. It's like you have a beautifully delicious, high quality food and you come and throw it at the person that you love instead of putting it properly in front of her. So that takes away from the quality of the food and the time you took to prepare it. And it just gets their focus on the fact that you threw it at them, which is a disrespectful way, and to them and to the food itself and to the whole offering, and turns it into a nasty uh, activity or intention rather than a positive one to put food in front of someone. And sometimes the content is just garbage, but the way it's presented is so beautiful that it actually sits on their heart and they may actually give it a thought. Again, a food that is not really that delicious or high quality, but if it's served in such beautiful presentation, it may actually be enticing to taste it or to eat it, to even think, oh, it's delicious because it's so clean and beautiful and everything is presented with so much glamour and respect and grace. So, my question again is, what the hell did you say? And what you said may have had logics behind it, but perhaps because of your oversensitivity of all the things that was not to your liking about yourself these days, you overly expressed it in such a way that it became insulting to them. So you might have had a role in that as well. And and he says she has been understanding and she's a good person, but attacking me is crossing a line itself. And he says, I still love her and care for her. He says, I'm more hurt by the fact she attacked me rather than the attack itself. Yes, okay, I understand that. He says, she has been understanding and she's a good person, but attacking herself. And then he says, would be much easier to explain on live chat. It's complicated. Okay, so we'll try to set something up and see. Okay, now who else do we have here? We have Vinit Maru. Says, hi, Mehran. For me, the most Vinit, we have an expression in Farsi that says, I've got hair growing out of my tongue because of so many times I've repeated this particular sentence. Meaning, God damn it, age, gender, where are you tuning in from? I need to know who the hell I'm talking with or talking to. So, Vinit, you might have been here before, but I don't remember everyone, at least not their age, gender, and which country or cultural background they come from. So, help me out here, and then I'll get back to you. And Happier says, hello, I'm 30, male, Chicago. Oh, thank you for that. Welcome. Welcome to my lair. All right. Nini says, thanks for your efforts. My question, okay, Nini, did you introduce yourself? Let's see if you have anyone up here. No? Nini, you need to let me know first. Age, gender, where are you tuning in from? And Happier says, may I ask you this? Yes, of course, Happier, go for it. He's 30 years old, male from Chicago. And is that your also background? Because many people could come from Chicago, but they could be Italian or Iranian or Syrian or Japanese or whatever. So I need to know all that as well. Vinit says, hi, Meran. I'm from Bahrain, male 20. Ah, thank you for that. All right. Now you're free to ask your question. It says Indian origin. There we go. Now we got something. Because again, you tell me Bahrain, so I think about the cultural background would be Arab. But then you're telling me your Indian background. Now suddenly things change. So I need to know, maybe I should add this in this way. Please let me know of your gender, age, where you are located, or country watching the program, and what is your cultural background. I guess that should do it, right? How about it? That should do it. Please let me know your gender, age, where you are located, country watching the program, and what is your cultural background. Yeah, that should do it. Now, if you guys don't do it, damn it, then you'll be meeting my ugly stick right there. Okay, so who are we here? So if you guys supply that, inform me of that when you first put your question in. We don't have to go round and round. Nini says, I'm 45. Nini, you're 45, but where from? It says female from Germany, from Shiraz, Iran. Oh my goodness. Now there we go. See, this is a complete information at least. Now I know Nini is female, 45 years old, from Germany, background, cultural background of Iran, and more specific, Shiraz. That means she sleeps a lot. She knows what I'm talking about. She's probably bursting with laughter because that's an inside joke in Iran about the Shirazis, that they're very relaxed. It's like they're from Tuscany in Italy, have the wine, they don't care about anything. Of course, not true. They're very hardworking, amazing, wonderful people, and but that's and the women are very beautiful in Shiraz. That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. All right, all right. So now, who are we going to go first? Vinny says, "Oh, I got to go read his. What was it? See, when the information is in two different texts, and I forget what it was. Vinny is a male or female? Let's see. Vinny is from Bahrain, 28 years old, male, Indian background. Okay. Vinny says, hi, Miran. For me, the most difficult time after my heartbreak is mourning. Yeah, naturally. And you know why? I feel so incomplete. Every one of us do in the morning, whether you're broken up or not. I feel so incomplete thinking that she's not with me. Yeah, okay, well, you get over it. Because you got to focus on, she's not the only woman in this world. And because you're just fixated on her, because you had an experience with her, you have tasted her nectar, you have tasted the pleasure of intimacy with her. And we men have a certain kind of a reaction to women, like if it's a brand of a drug. A drug addict, when he or she is hit with the withdrawal symptom craves the same brand of drug. It's not like if someone is hooked on marijuana and now is craving marijuana, could settle for a different kind of drug and solves his craving or problem. It still has to be that same kind of drug, marijuana. And similarly, it's of course it's a loose way of explaining it, but I think you guys can understand the logic of the delivery. When we are experiencing a relationship, intimate relationship with a woman, or if you're a woman with a man, when you experience a relationship with your partner, once it breaks off for whatever reason, you're hooked on that brand. So on that girl, you want that same girl to ease your pain and give you the prerequisites to secrete the same amount of neurotransmitters, and in this case, the dopamine. So you're not going to get the same high if it's a different woman you're going to go out with and say, well, it's intimate. I'm going to be, with a woman and we're going to flirt and she likes me and I like her. You still don't feel the same high. Let's put it this way. So what you're going through is not that she's the most qualified woman for you. It's only because you're addicted to her brand. You're going to go through some withdrawal symptoms, and then you're going to come out of it fresh and clear. And you're going to be ready to fall in love and appreciate another woman and different qualities and so on. So this, what you're going through, consider it as if you've gone to some kind of institution to help you to withdraw from the habit. So the pain that you're going through is necessary for your recovery. And don't think of it as a sign that she was the right one and you lost the right girl. No, this is just withdrawal symptom and it's necessary for your recovery. It is not a sign or evidence that she was the best girl for you. This is how you would feel when you break up, regardless of who you break up with. And that feeling is not an evidence that that was the right girl for you and you've missed the biggest chance of your life. It will take a bit of a time. And when you create a new order in your life by creating and following new mechanical processes in your life, such as getting involved with new hobbies, new associations, the things you wanted to accomplish in your life, the things you wanted to learn, and through which you will meet new people, you create a new set of activities, which these set of activities will bring about new routine, which results in new order in life. Because right now, it is not the fact that you get up in the morning and you're missing her. It is not the fact that you're missing her. You're missing the order of your life, which was created from certain mechanical processes, which one of which was her being beside you when you wake up. So it's not the fact that you miss her, you miss the routine of her, somebody, in this case her, being beside you when you wake up. That routine is broken. So the order of your life, that part of it consisted of opening your eyes and seeing her beside you, getting up and cleaning up and having your tea or coffee and your croissant or whatever it is that you eat in the morning, your shake or whatnot, and you go to your work or your school or whatever it is that you do. All of these mechanical processes had created an order of life for you. And in the order of life, the mind, in this case, I'm using the word mind and brain the same, although mind and brain are different. In the order of life, the brain finds security. Security is what we've always been looking for from millions of years ago, both physically and psychologically. Now, physically, we can create physical security through physical secure environment, such as knowing where your limbs are, and you're in your apartment, the door is locked, you're in good part of town, physical environment is secure, your physical entity, portion of your body, your entity finds security as the result of being in a secure environment. But the brain does not find security in a physical environment through a physical secured environment. It finds security through order of life. So when the order of life is broken, which in this case, your case, your relationship is broken, which had created an order in life, certain things you would do together, certain things you would do individually, collectively, you had created a certain routine, certain order in life, and your brain had found security in that routine, in that order of life. Now that the relationship is broken, she's no longer there, you cannot create the same order as it was in the past in your life without her, because she was part of having created this order together. Now, part of the creator of this order through the mechanical processes that both of you shared is severed. She's not there. So the order is not the same. So the brain cannot find the order through the normal set of mechanical processes that you two had created, and on that base, your order. So the problem is not that she's not there. The problem is that the brain cannot find security. And why? Because the order is broken. Why? Because the relationship is broken up. That is why you miss, and you think you're missing her. You're not. You're missing the order of life. And that's why you're constantly in the memory, because in the memory, the order that was created in your life is still recorded and exists 100% as it was. Your brain needs security, can't find it in the actual world. So it goes into the memory, stays in there because the recording of the order of life is there. So the brain finds security in the memory. While it's secure and relaxed, who else is there in that memory? Her. She is. So when she is, it triggers the file that contains prerequisites for desire to be born. And those prerequisites have already been met and recorded in your memory as well. So when she is there in the memory and triggers the file becomes alive, opens up, the prerequisite of the desire is there, and the brain thinks, oh, prerequisites are again met. Now the brain desires her. All of that because it's in the memory. In order to stop all these things, you need to bring the brain out of the memory. Brain doesn't want to come out of the memory unless it can find an order in the actual world. Otherwise, it wants to be secured, and the security cannot be found in the actual world because the order in the actual world is broken, is no longer there. It keeps going into the memory to meet the order and feel secure. So what's the remedy? To create a new order in the actual world, meaning new associations, new accomplishments, new things you want to learn, new things you want to accomplish, people you want to meet, things you like to do, and bring that energy that is alive and dynamic in the real world. Create new mechanical processes that you love to continue every day, and through that, a new routine, through that new order, and the new order is alive and active in the actual world, the brain no longer has a need to go into the memory, does not meet her, does not have the file for the prerequisites for desire to be reopened or triggered, and does not desire her because he's finding the security that he's looking for in the actual new order that you have created in your life by new mechanical processes that you have found. Whew. There we go. from being handy in the morning to having a new order. You got your orders. Go now. Okay. Now, you guys remember that I do have a site, mind.seekstruth.com, mind.seekstruth.com. As you can see, these discussions are dynamic and takes a while to go through them. And each situation could be different. So you can have a one-on-one with me on Skype, but you need to go on my site, mind.seekstruth.com, make an appointment, and we will chat one-on-one on Skype. For every new client, I add 30 minutes extra, so we will not have to rush, and we'll have a good conversation. He says, my fiance broke up with me after a few arguments. I tried to convince her to come back. Never convince anybody to come back. That has to be free will. Do not convince her. If she has all these things, you're just reacting on your hormones. Otherwise, why do you have to convince someone to love you or to like you or to want to be with you? If she cannot come to that conclusion on her own, you don't want to be with that person. Because if you can convince her, then everybody else can convince her to go to them. It has to be on her own merits and decision and standards. If you meet her standards and qualifications and expectations, then you're qualified for her and she chooses. When someone chooses you, that's the girl that you want to focus on, if she qualifies or not. But you trying to convince someone who hasn't chosen you, that's a futile effort. You may convince her, but then it's not stemmed from her own desires and logic. So what are you going to do? Every day you want to convince her? No. If you like a girl, you choose to get to know that girl. And she has to also like you to choose to want to get to know you. But if you want to convince her to get to know you, that's starting a wrong foot. You can introduce yourself, but you got to see initiation from the other side. Okay. Now, he says, I tried to convince her, but she didn't agree. Now I am in no contact for at least 2 months. Let her go. 2 months? Too long. 2 months, the girl doesn't want to pay attention to you or come back. It's not worth going after. Why do you have to go after a girl? Why? The motivation should not be just sex. Because we men are programmed for procreation. We're motivated to go after someone for sex regardless. But sex is not what brings a relationship together or keeps it together. Sex is an invitation for two people want to get to know each other, attracted to each other. But once they get to know each other, now they have to try to see if they are compatible on the consciousness level, because that's where the relationship takes place. The sexuality part is not about relationship. I can be attracted to a girl even though if she doesn't meet any of my qualifications, but she's beautiful and she's got the attributes that I'm looking for. I'm programmed to respond to that for procreation. That's how my gene has been put together. It's not my decision. It's not my doing. It's the fact that I am programmed to see certain kind of standards and attributes in a woman and be attracted to it and to pursue her and to be with her intimately. And the relationship takes place when these two physical entities now can also resonate on the consciousness level, which is what they are actually all about. The instinctive part is the physical attraction. That's a no-brainer. It doesn't involve any thoughts. It's It's instinctive, is an instinct. There's no logic to it. She's pretty. I like her. I like the way she looks, her hair, her body, her legs, or whatever it is. I'm drawn to her. That's my genetics is designed that way. But if I can have a relationship with her or not, it's all about if we can now be compatible on the content of our consciousness. That's where you need to try to see if you each qualify to resonate on the same level. In other words, it's like two music instruments are both playing, but if they're playing on different tunes, they won't be able to resonate or complement each other. So as wonderful as each individual are and playing their tune without affecting each other in close proximity, but when they get together, they clash. Individually, they're both lovely to listen to, but the two music or notations don't go well together. This is the part that needs to be harmonized, synchronized, to be able to fit into each other's rhythm. That is where the consciousness come into the picture. If these two can resonate on the conscious level, because that's the only cognitive part of the whole relationship. The rest of it is genetic. You're attracted to female. That's not a credit on her. That's not a qualification. That's a step toward the right direction to see now, can I have a relationship with her or her with me based on how we resonate in our brain, in our consciousness, in our values, in our compatibility. If we can do that, then we got something going. If not, well, that was a nice, intimate expression and it can't go anywhere. You can't build anything. It's like the caveman time. We make love and we procreate, and then we each go, whether we stay together depending on our civility or sense of responsibility, a different stage of the history. We either stay together, protect the woman and the children, or we just go about our business like animals did, or whatever. That's a different topic of discussion. All right. So, but she didn't agree. No comment, 2 months. But I'm thinking about, no, you're not thinking about her. You're thinking about sex every day, because in the morning, you know how it is. It says, I spent 3 years of relationship with her. Can't think of someone else. Why is it that you can't think of someone else to be in bed with you? But she can? She's okay with it to go to bed with another man after 3 years being together. But you're the one who can wuss out. You got to say, if she can do that, definitely I can. And I'm not interested in a woman who can actually think she can do better with another man and she can offer herself to another man while she's been with me. Once she leaves your bed, once she leaves the relationship with you, that's the end of that relationship, because she had all the chances. If you guys can't resolve your differences and you decide, or one of you decide to separate, well, there is no need to convincing the other that, no, I'm the best mate for you. No. If she can do okay, if she can be okay by going with another man, then you should be okay by going with another woman. Why can't you? Because we simply value sex maybe a little bit more than women do, and we're hooked on it. We're programmed that way. That's why we have some kind of a unsatisfied thirst all our lives. Again, that's not because we're uncivil or anything. It's because that's how God has made us, or whatever the Creator has had in mind for us to be that way. So that's very important to us. But that importance of intimacy, it is not an evidence that the girl is the right girl for you. That importance is there in you about any woman that meets your aesthetics standards, attributes. So it's not an evidence that, oh, that's the right girl for me because I'm turned on. Well, if you're turned on any kind of a piece of beauty, that is out there. But let's see what's the inner beauty. That's where the actual bond takes place. Otherwise, none of these beautiful people, so to speak, can resonate. That's why the relationship breaks down, regardless of how handsome and how beautiful each one of them are. Look at the Hollywood. So many amazing, beautiful, uh, dead gorgeous girls out there, and they meet these very handsome actors and they get together. But why is it that their marriage doesn't last? They're both handsome and good looking. If that's the criteria that keeps a relationship going, well, they got it, right? They have money, they have been fit and exercising and have coaches and they eat right and all that. So why is it that their handsomeness or beautifulness doesn't keep the marriage together, the relationship together? Because the relationship doesn't take place at the physical level. It's an invitation to see if they can actually create a bond on the conscious level where the relationship takes place. So, regardless of how good looking a couple are, they still get separated if they don't resonate on the same level. Same thing here. The fact that you think or you miss her every morning, that's no evidence that she's the right girl. You got to focus on her character. What's her offering? What is she bringing to the table? If she can leave and be okay to find another man, you should be able to be okay to find another woman. There's no shortage of beautiful, amazing looking women out there. I'm telling you. From my childhood, I've seen one woman more beautiful than the other. All the time, they're beautiful women everywhere. But what makes them special is how you guys hit it on the consciousness level. Compatibilities, tolerance, unselfishness, care, real love, what you do for each other, why you do it to each other, unselfishness. All these qualities makes that lovemaking even so much more amazing than just the fact that you're designed that way. All right. So, in other words, short or long is move on. 2 months is too long. She's not got back. Forget it. She's probably hung up somewhere else, and don't worry about it. Find another woman, a woman that you hit on the conscious level, and then you'll see you should have not even wasted another day on this. And we go back to happier. Sorry about that. Just one moment, guys. Okay. So happier says, and also, what? Oh, maybe I should start with happier. Oh, okay. So I guess we never did attend to happier. Happier says, oh, I thought I did, didn't I? Happier says, I'm 30, male, Chicago. May I ask advice? Okay, go ahead. And then we come to, says, I'm Italian. Buongiorno. Come stai? Says, I'm started a new job. I started a new job recently at huge IT company, and they are not training me properly as I wanted to be. I understand everyone is busy, but I'm still learning all new info, and they asked me to do a huge presentation for upper management already. I'm already an anxious person, and I'm extra anxious now. I created the slides by researching, but if I'm asked new info during presentation, I would freeze because I have not learned those IT tools yet. How do I stop this anxiety? Very simple. Very simple. Listen carefully. When you want to do a presentation, you do your best in preparation, which it seems you have done. As you said, you just got a job there recently. When the upper management is sitting there, first you got to focus that you're not there to impress the upper management. You're there to present what you're supposed to present as best as you can. That's your responsibility. Your responsibility is not the reaction the management will have towards you. The responsibility, your focus should not be on how I'm going to impress this human being sitting there. Your sole responsibility should be on the information I'm going to express and present and how I'm going to present it. What are the facts? What are the research? What are the things I can do? As much as your training allows. Now, I understand what you're saying, that if they ask me a question that I don't know, I will freeze. No, you won't freeze, because there's a simple way to handle those questions. Let's say I'm the presenter, and the upper management asks me a certain question that I know nothing about. Says, I'm sure this is a very interesting question and a great opportunity for me to investigate and learn it, as I'm a newcomer here. I've been hired just recently, and I have not been trained yet as I would like it to be. Perhaps if I'm assigned a certain mandated trainer to give me the information that you need, I will be more than happy to further my research and come back to you with the proper answer, with proper information. You politely acknowledge the need for that information. You politely told them to fuck off. In other words, that I've been just hired and I don't have a fucking trainer here. I'm doing everything myself. But you don't say it in these words, you don't say it in those words. And at the same time, you express your interest to comply with the information that are requested of you, provided you have ability to research it with proper trainer and so on. So when this is uploaded, you can actually write what I just said, the first part. And if such question comes in, you keep up the card and read from it, or remind yourself how you should say it. Don't freeze. There is no need to freeze. Who expects you to know everything there? If anybody at any company, they just got hired and you're not properly trained as you wished it to be, ask a question that you don't know, it's not a sin. I bet you I can ask a question from them that they don't know. Even me, that I'm not in that business right now. But there are enough information out there that they can form a question to most expert of them that they still may not know, because there's so much vast information available in these things, and so many questions need to be answered in such industries. So it's not a sin if you don't know a question, answer to a question, but you need to address it as honestly as you can. So this is a great opportunity this is a great question, I'm sure, and great opportunity for me to research and learn from my new trainers that I hope I'll be assigned to, as I know everybody's busy and I have not been trained enough. And these are all I could have, the presentations, all I could have come on my own. So I'm looking forward to more of an opportunity to learn, and hopefully I'd be able to find the answer for your question as soon as I'm given the guidelines. Politely, and then also giving them the problems that, if they want you to be better than this, then they got to come up with a better training program, but without, ruffling feathers. Or you can say, it's a great question that I'm curious myself. And as much as my supervisors have been gracious to help me to learn, the busyness and the schedules that is so much on their plates haven't allowed me to follow a certain scheduled training program and complete it yet, or haven't allowed me to complete a special program, training program set for me. I look forward to get that schedule to enhance my knowledge, to be able to be more fruitful in such circumstances and helpful in providing information. Something of that nature. All right. And he says, and I am perfectionist, so I am mad at myself for not knowing everything, even though I joined them that firm 2 weeks ago. No. Stop expecting unreasonable expectations from yourself. That's bullshit. I'm perfectionist. I am too. And that's why I suffer. I suffered all my life because I was perfectionist. Learn to be balanced in life. Nothing in this life is perfect. So why do you expect yourself to be perfect? Who the hell do you think you are? You think these guys who are going to be sitting in front of you are perfect now? They were perfect when they joined the company. They're not even perfect now. That's why they want you to present it, because they don't know shit in this particular way. Or maybe it's just the way it is. Nobody knows everything. And don't be thinking that you have to know everything. You don't have to. Not at all. 2 weeks? Are you kidding me? And I teach you something that if you get anxious, this is what you do. You don't have to do it in front of them. You do it before or any time in your life, anywhere you are. You see, there are two breathing systems that we have. One voluntarily breathing system called pre-Butzinger complex. Pre-Butzinger complex breathing system is what allows you to breathe normally as you do, in, out. Whether you breathe it fast, short, or long. That's pre-Butzinger complex. But then there's another system which allows this involuntarily reaction of breathing to be manipulated. In other words, it allows you to be able to breathe out of rhythm when you're laughing or crying. Like, this is not the same rhythm, but it allows you to use it. That is possible through a different system of breathing, which is parafacial nuclei. Parafacial nuclei allows you to manipulate breathing rhythm. So when you're crying, that is parafacial nuclei system that allows you to manipulate the regular rhythm of pre-Butzinger complex. So when you want to get rid of an anxiety, you can simply use this parafacial nuclei system. Doesn't matter the name, just do this. You breathe in and you breathe second in the same breath. And you hold a few seconds and you let out slowly from your mouth. This way. And you empty completely and then breathe normally. If you do this right now, you'll slow down like I am, like a snail, relaxed, don't give a shit about anything. And thoughts exit your brain 100%. So I want you to do this, all of you, do this with me right now. We're going to breathe one long one and then continue the other one with the same breath. Hold a couple of seconds and then let it out of your mouth slowly, completely out. And then when you're done, breathe normally and stay there. You don't have to talk, you don't have to look, just feel the amazing oneness with the nature and the feeling of not really existing while you're just one with the total essence of life, the existence. You become one with the nature in that short one exercise. So, ready? Breathe normally and enjoy the moment. Just enjoy. You can see the submergement, the submerging into the universal energy. It's like a drop of the ocean has come out of the ocean and has been living his life outside the ocean. And when you do this, it's like the drop has rolled back into the ocean. Now it's an ocean. Nothing can hurt it. It's one with the mighty all in one. And you feel so confident, connected, and protected. And there are no thoughts. That's the time that the brain totally relaxes. You can do that anytime of the day, anywhere. It takes a few seconds. You can do 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 times of it right after each other. And you don't give a fuck anymore. Who's watching, who's not? Just do your best. And my Aikido instructor in university always said, when you're going to go to exam, all you can do is to do your best before the exam. In your preparation, do whatever is necessary, whatever you could, doing your best. With that knowledge, you go and sit on the chair for the exam. And that moment, you do not think about, oh, what I should have read, that chapter I should have reviewed again, or that one I missed, or I should have looked at that page. None of that shit. Done. You just say, I've done my best. Now I'm going to relax, do nothing, and just focus to do my best here. That's all. No regrets, no what I should have done. Oh, I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't have done this. I should have done that. None of that. Do your best. Come to the class and then relax and do your best there. Same thing. You want to go do a presentation, do whatever you do. Do your best. Prepare the best you can, however it is, according to your training or whatever it is. Now, stop expectations. Go to the delivery presentation, relax, do your presentation as best as possible you can. That's all. The rest of it, you don't have to worry about what questions they ask. What if they ask me this? I don't give a shit. I've done my best. I've done my best here presenting it, and that's the end of it. They ask you a question, you give them the answer that I told you. It's for every question that same answer. And he says, I'm Italian, and I got no patience at myself. Well, that's no excuse. I'm Italian or I'm Japanese or I've got nowadays, from old samurai, so I have to kill someone. No, that's all bullshit. You don't have to comply to all these stereotypes. I'm Italian, I have no patience. What does that mean? You're Italian, you're a human being before you're Italian. I don't care if you're Italian, Iranian, Japanese, Chinese, American, French, German. You still got to adhere to what is reasonable. Impatient is not good. Don't be. Do a couple of these exercises that I just told you, your patient will come back. So don't give the excuses that I'm of this kind or I have to be this way or none of that shit. And I'm Italian. I've got no patience at myself for being a slow learner. No, that's not right. Slow learners actually become really the best because they took them a while to contemplate and learn the whole thing. So thanks from a frustrated young man. No, you're not frustrated. Just listen to what I said. Just do your best, which you have done. You're prepared. Tomorrow, whenever it is, you relax and you just do your best there. You ask you a question, you have the answer. So there's no reason for you to be anxious anymore. Because there would be, if you can answer this question, you can't answer the other one. There's so many questions you can and so many questions you can't. It's not like one or two questions. Oh, I should have known this, then I would have scored high. No, they could have answered any question that you could or you could not know. So the ones that you do, you answer. The ones that you don't, you give them the answer that I just gave you. I'm going to upload this. You can see that, write it or record it, whatever, listen to it, and understand how you can put the wordings together, and you'll be prepared and create similar word without being intimidated. You're a human being, and every one of those people sitting in front of you are human beings. They get up in the morning, they look like shit. They gotta clean and wash their face, and they gotta sit on the crapper and do their shit, and they gotta put their shoes on, and they're just as fragile and needy and everything as anybody else is. They're gonna have their tea or coffee, and they're gonna get out and go to work. They're no gods, they're no special. They just learned something, and now they have an image. Don't do presentation for the image of the people who are sitting there that you have created of them in your own brain. Do the presentation for the sake of sharing certain information. That's all. I don't care who's sitting there. President of God knows some place in the world, or Pope, or clergy of different religions, or whoever else. I don't care what echelon. Your responsibility is toward this particular project. You're sharing information. You're not presenting to an image you've created of the people who are sitting there. You're presenting it to human beings in an effort to teach them something or to present them something that you were told that they need information on as best as you can. And the ones that you don't know, that's the answer you give. All right. Now, Vince says, so how long you would feel like this? As long as you allow it, you know? An old Aboriginal Indian chief was talking to his grandson. And he said, there are two wolves in you, always fighting. One is the good wolf, one is the bad wolf. The grandson asks, Grandfather, which one will win? Grandfather says, the one you feed. So, how long does it last? As long as you feed it. You take the food away from it, take the need out of it, create new order, new mechanical process, new associations, new friends. You open to new relationships, new women, appreciate, adore them, learn from them, see who they are, what they offer, appreciate their specialities, see their specialities, and you go from them. So you're not feeding that. This is in your brain. You're feeding attention and focus to a new venture. So, Vinit says, it was toxic relationship. I was in depression in the last month of relationship. I wanted to break up. She did it. But after 2 weeks, I feel to get her back. No, you don't. You don't. You just because she did it first. Otherwise, you wanted to get rid of her anyhow. So stop it. So I spent 3 years of relationship with her. So what? So what? People spend 20 years of relationship in marriage and they fucks up and they go, what should they do? They go die? They continue life, another one. So what? I spent 3 years of my, so what? 3 years, so it's chicken feed. Can't think of someone else. Well, you better, because that would be a real weakness to think that only one person in this world, what? What she got between her legs? Gold? That's why nobody else can give you the feelings you get when you're intimate with what? If it's not physical, what is it then? Mentally, she's no help anyhow. She's gone somewhere else. So she's got no credibility there. And physically, there's so many better ones, and they all can give you, as long as they meet your aesthetic expectations, they all can meet you the same, if not better, satisfaction or moments of intimacy and romanticism. So, what is it that you think? Oh, I can't think of another girl. No, you can. You just don't want to because you think that's lazy. That's easier. She was here, so now I gotta go find it. Well, go hunt. You're a hunter. Learn. That's an opportunity for you to learn. Don't be a wuss. All right. Happier says, and add to my previous question, I'm too nervous to fuck up. No problem. Fuck up is a way of learning. You will never fuck up after you fuck up. You fuck up. I said, go there to fuck up. Say, okay, I'm going to go fuck up. Because that's bravery. I fucked up in front of all these fucking managers. Stop being scared of it. What's the most going to come up? You get fired? No. Then you're going to talk and say, listen, I was not trained. What the hell do you expect from me? And if they fire you, fuck them, another company. Don't be dependent on all these mental bullshit. Nobody's God sitting in front of you. You pay so much attention to the job than the reasonability of your efforts. That's all. You just do your efforts. That's all you have to explain. Okay, I'm going to move on. It's an unnecessary discussion anymore. You're quite welcome. Okay. And Nini says, what? Okay. Says, hi, Meran. Nini, female, Shiraz, Germany. My question, my ex couldn't commit after 2 years. He did not want to be exclusive at this time. But also because he couldn't see future together. All right. Though he was still sexually attracted and felt friendship. It's not too difficult to be sexually attracted for most men who have a decent looking girlfriend. I'm not meaning to be facetious or disrespectful to you. I just meaning in general, because you could be a goddess to someone and not so attractive to somebody else. That's not the point. But usually every woman is beautiful, if not in the way to meet everyone's standards, but certainly something about her is most beautiful to every man of any taste. Every woman is beautiful to someone in entirety or in parts to different people. So the beauty of woman is incontestable. But so you considering that as an evidence that she's the right man for you, that's wrong. Because men are visually motivated. They see something beautiful. I could see a girl that most of her attributes are not suitable to my taste, but she could be wearing high heels, or she could be wearing her hair in a certain way, or she could be having nice, I don't know, nose or nice legs. These are enough to get a man find himself sexually attracted to some level. Now, if the woman has many of the things that is in line with the standards of this person, then obviously that would be the right, physically proportionate right woman for him to try to get to know, which is that's a different stage. So you mentioning that he was still sexually attracted to you means nothing of a qualification for him. We can be attracted to anything shiny. So, what I'm trying to say is that don't consider his attention, his sexual attention to you, as the qualification or an evidence to be considered as the right choice for you. I don't know if I'm delivering it right. Though he was still sexually attracted and felt friendship to this date, he still wants us to be friends because he wants to have sex with you. That's all. And talk from time to time. No, he just wants to have sexual partner inventory. It says, I have difficulty to follow his decision. We both are educated, means nothing. You could be educated to health, but still, people can be educated to health, but still an idiot socially or in their personal values. Education really doesn't have anything to do with a direct relationship with someone's values. Says, have difficulty to follow his decision. We both are educated and nice and qualitative and had nice and qualitative times together. Qualitative, okay, quality times, and no fights. That's a problem. You gotta have fights. Every human being is different on their consciousness. You can't tell me that your consciousness and his consciousness is the same. You have no fights. That means you guys are tolerating each other just so that you will not have fights. That's unnatural. It's not that I'm promoting to have fights, but I'm saying if you have fights, that's not a negative. How you deal with the fight or discrepancy, that's positive or negative. If you're open to analyze, share, discuss, compromise, and find compatibilities and differences and deal with the conflicts and divisions, this is what makes a relationship have basis, a foundation, because you know that conflicts and divisions are natural and normal and part of every relationship. It's impossible not to have conflict or divisions. But being able to discuss it and come to understanding and sharing this experience through communication, that's when it tells you if you guys can make it, or you think that a good relationship is when there is no discussion of any way. No, that's a master and a slave relationship. That's a fake tolerance relationship. That means they really don't care to share things and be compatible as much as they can. They just say, oh, as long as I can fuck her and as long as she gets what she wants, well, we're good. She thinks that, okay, as long as I can get what I want, whether it's financially, materialistically, or emotionally, romantically, and if the guy thinks the same way, as long as I get this, I don't care about all of it, one of them, then I don't have to say anything. I don't have to create a fuss. That means you don't have really backbones. And in order to build anything, you have a structure. If you don't have a structure, you can't construct anything, can't hang anything, you can, decorate it. There's no foundation, there's no structure, there's no skeleton. It's spineless. So when two people fighting, not necessarily fight means something good, but reasonable disagreements, that's a trait of thinking. If you have no disagreement with anybody, that means you're not thinking. You're not capable of thinking, coming up with decisions and evaluations. You're just there. Anybody come and shit on me? Okay, thank you. So, discussion, expressions, communication, exchanges, these all sometimes could lead to some heated discussions, or if it's properly tempered, pleasant but focused discussion. That part is okay. But thinking that, oh, we were all educated and nice and no problems and no fights, that's not a relationship. If you tell me you have no fights, that means you had no relationship. It's all bullshit. And says, nice quality times and no fights. He was concerned that we have different cultures and not the same language. Where is he from? But you didn't tell me that. See, guys, complete the information. I thought your partner is also Persian, but it seems to me that he's from a different culture. Please give me that information as well. It says from a different culture, and it says different cultures and not the same language. Culture, language, and power were arguments he gave as a reason not to be able to see future with me. Okay, I guess. Listen, I suggest to you, Nini, go to my site, mind@sixtruth.com, and make an appointment with me for 1 hour consultation on Skype, and I'll add another half an hour to it, maybe more, and then we'll discuss it, explore it together, one-on-one on Skype. This is not going to be enough time for me to explore that. Says, I speak English very good, and he was American living in Netherlands. We spoke English together. I speak German, and I was willing to learn Dutch as well to fulfill his expectations of language skills. Well, you're doing too much. What about him? If his English is good enough, which is supposed to be, and you speak English, what other languages do you need to learn? If you speak German and he speaks Dutch, he can also learn German. It's easier that way, isn't it? But I think you're a little bit going overly, making overly efforts to make this thing work. I don't know why. So might as well go make that appointment, and then we'll discuss it one-on-one on Skype in detail. Sinini says, we speak now from time to time, and he reported me being with a woman with whom he sees eventually future and is exclusive to her. He says he misses me and also thinks of me as well and deeply cares. Listen, you stop talking to this asshole, all right? A guy who's already moved on from you is with another woman and calls you and tells you that he's exclusive to her. But this son of a bitch is a player, and you don't seem to get it. He wants to tell you he's exclusive to create that exclusivity image and to tell you that he's with another woman, but he misses you, so he can also get assurance of him being qualified to be with you and possibly come and have a little fun with you as well, because keeps creating that image of himself that he's some desired man out there because another woman, he wants to have future with her, he's exclusive with her, she's better than you. That's the underlining message, to create some kind of an jealousy in you, or drum up his own. You somehow created some kind of a image for this guy that he's been empowered for no reason. Obviously, he's an idiot. I'm not saying because he didn't choose you or whatnot. I'm saying because you probably were too available to him, and he wasn't of the kind of person who was compassionate, real, to be able to appreciate your availability for him. Rather, he got a big head thinking that he's some kind of a shit, which means it's a lower grade of a man who doesn't appreciate attention, instead wants to use that as a power tool to dominate when he's not qualified to accomplish anything on his own, but through manipulations he tries to. So you shouldn't give a time of day to that guy and just simply tell him, listen, don't call me. What is your reason to actually want this guy to call you and allow him to call you? He's with another girl. He's already said so. So what is it that you're putting yourself in a position of inferiority? What for? To play on your head and then once in a while come and, have a little bit of a taste and then go? So you simply tell him, now, this is what you're going to say. Next time he calls, says, listen, it was nice to get to know you. I'm glad you found the girl that you're looking for. At this point, I'm moving on a different direction, and I wish you not call me again. I don't want to be in contact with you. This relationship is over. I wish you the best, and thank you. Bye for now. Hang up. And she says, he's exclusive to her. He says he misses and cares for me. And at the same time, he says he's on a good way in his new relationship. All this confuses me and hurts me a lot. Yeah, because you're allowing yourself to get hurt. I don't know why he asked and wants to catch up from time to time. Well, I just told you. And says, I accepted that because I hoped. No, don't. Cut that off immediately. If you're calling now to get advice, this is my advice to you. Cut all contact with this guy. He's actually no good. You lucked out. The man who actually is committed to another woman and still calls the ex, that's a piece of shit. Not just to you, to that woman as well. This asshole needs to be taught a lesson, which means you simply tell him, thank you for contacting me. I wish you never call me again. Focus on your relationship. And that is my best wishes for you. Have a nice day. No explanation, no nothing. And you mean it. The reason you do this is because you want to move on, not to make him jealous to come back. This guy is no good. Do you understand that? I hope you do. Otherwise, you're going to go round and round and get yourself deep in some kind of a labyrinth, never come out, and just get wasted. And says, I accepted it because I wanted to hope he might. Oh, no. But I don't know what his intention is. You seem to be very naive. How old are you? I don't get it. How old are you? Like, you need to, have your motorcycle helmet on, and I got to crash that ugly stick on your head because you don't seem to care about yourself. You're on some kind of an illusion that some guy is a savior with shining armor. He's an asshole. Let him go. All right. No. Okay. I think we spoke enough of it. If you want, you can go on my site, make an appointment. We'll discuss it further. You need to readjust your thinking about this relationship. Okay. Kuro says, I'm glad I made it when you're live. Yeah, me too. I've been alive for 66 years now. I intend to be there another few years at least. But I'm glad that we met. Kuro. Let me know age, gender, where you're tuning in from, guys. And Drones says, what happened to hello? This is so-and-so, age, gender, where you're tuning in from. Oh, there it is. My bad. Says, Drones, Oscar, 32 years old, Peru. Okay. Says, hello, Meran. I've been watching your videos the whole week. I discovered you this Monday. I have one question. I have another question. Why you discovered me this? I mean, I'm so difficult to be found. We've got over 3,000 videos on this channel. We're talking about thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego, relationship breakups, how to move on, why you feel devastation, why you feel this way, what you should do, how to understand your psyche. We have hundreds of videos on OCD subsets, and HOCD, and all the other things. And I'm still hard to be found. What the hell is going on? You guys, if you find me, then promote me on your social media and let people know that we're here for support. And all the videos are free. And if you need some extra attention and discussions, then you know what to do. Go on my site, mind@sixtruth.com, and make an appointment, and we'll discuss what's concerning you one-on-one on Skype. And he says, how can I stop waiting for my ex? That's a bad question, It's a wrong question. What do you mean, how can I stop waiting for my ex? Oh, you mean, how can you not wait anymore, huh? 5 years relationship, we broke up a month and a half ago. From your videos, I know I should focus on myself, yes. But the possibility of her contacting me is on my mind. Why? Why do you want her to contact you? As I said before, if you're with a woman for 5 years, she leaves your bed, she leaves your home, she leaves her home, maybe it's her home, she leaves the home, she leaves the relationship. Let's put it this way. That's the end of it. It's not a week or two. If any relationship really supposed to get back after a glitch or lack of understanding or communication, maximum at your ages is 2 weeks. Maximum 1 week. Maximum extraordinary situations 2 weeks. If it turns out to be 3 weeks or a month, that's a bullshit. That's based on ego, unreasonable expectations, garbage. It's the end of it. Don't ever ask her to come back. Don't ever allow her to come back. Because it's all power tripping. It's unreasonable expectations. Two people really like each other after 5 years. They can't stand being away more than 2 weeks. 5 years, maybe 3 weeks on a vacation, okay. Anything further than that is obviously is not healthy, and it's not real. It means you should not even want her to come back after 2-3 weeks max. Possibility. Why are you waiting for somebody else to create a possibility for you? You create your own possibilities. You don't feel good, you go to the gym. You don't feel good, you go biking. You don't feel good, go walking. You don't feel good, go socializing. She's replaced you with whatever she likes. I don't care. Another person or hobby, whatever it is. Replace her. Why do you have to spend your life waiting around for someone who's not qualified or no longer qualified? Or it was a misjudgment. You made a mistake by choosing her. But you stuck around for that many years. Now you got used to it. It's become your habit. If you follow the neuroscience of habit, when you constantly do something, even though it's not beneficial and hazardous and painful, it gets to a point that the repetition, that every time you did something because you desired, you thought you had a reason for it, it creates a dopamine. And after a while, you're no longer doing it because the pleasure that you receive from that person is because you want to continue that relationship because you get dopamine from it. And then after a while, dopamine continuously given to you, it turns into a habit. Why? Because the goal finding center, reward center, dopamine, goal finding center, your reason to want to do that thing, whether it's a need or conditioning, whatever it is, or hunger, whatever it is, that's your goal finding center. Then there is a reward center, the dopamine. And then there's another layer right on top of each other, which is the habit center. So what you do when you do it so many times, and every time you get dopamine, after a while, you're not doing it for the pleasure of doing whatever it was the reason for you to do that one thing. You're doing it to get the dopamine. And after a while, you keep doing this. You're no longer doing it for the pleasure or the dopamine. You're doing it because it became your habit. Why? Because the reward center, the goal finding center, reward center, and the habit center, they're all on top of each other in the striatum, in midbrain, in basal ganglia. So every time you do something, it stimulates two other circles, two other levels. The neurotransmitter dopamine level, I feel good doing this. And then you keep doing that, it stimulates the first layer that stimulates dopamine. It also stimulates in some ways, in some degree, the habit center. And after so many times getting dopamine off it, the habit center is already now turned on. And now you're doing it for the habit, not because of dopamine, not because of the pleasure, because of the habit. And that becomes difficult to get rid of if it's a wrong choice. And in these situations, for 5 years, you've conditioned yourself to be with her. Now you think you have to be with her because she's the right choice. She's not. You're doing it because it's your habit now to see her around. And you want her to call you back, even though, despite the fact that she's betrayed the relationship now. She's gone for a month and a half and you're still waiting. Why are you waiting? Change your parameter. I don't want this woman anymore. Why? Because she's not loyal. The end of it. Done. All right. And is it possible if I contact him, he's on my mind all the time? It shouldn't be, especially because she's unblocking me and blocking me social media. Now you block her and you move on. That's it. You don't want to see what she does. You don't care what she does. You got to move on. I hope you don't have children, because obviously you don't want this relationship to continue. All right. So Guiding Words says, hi, Meran. Maybe if you have time left, how should I react when I see her in church again? Oh, you just see her in church. It's the best time to say, Jesus, help me. And go on and do your prayer and move on. So what? It could be church. It could be supermarket. It could be what? It's not about where you meet her. You meet her, it's just, how you doing? Move. So, what do you think? Why are you guys scared? Like what? It's your desire for her that scares you, that you got to deal with, not her. She could be passing by. If you can control and disregard the prerequisites for desire, then it wouldn't affect you. So really, her powers that you think she's powerful, it's in you. Her powers that you feel she's so powerful that you don't know what to do, it's not in her. The source of her power is in your desire for her. And if you understand what makes desire to bloom, then you understand how to stop desire. And therefore, she would become powerless. It would no longer be of your interest. All your interest, though, look, she's done this, she's done that, she's not with you. So why is it that you like her? Because the memory of intimacy, pleasure. You see her as a concept of intimacy. She's not. You got to be selective on the pleasures that you want from whatever it is that you want it from. You can't just allow, just because she's a female and you're a heterosexual male, you are gravitating towards this entity. That shouldn't be enough for you. Up your standards. That for me to be interested, to pursue a woman, to present myself to her, yes, she should have these attributes, physical attributes, but that's not enough. I should see this, and that. And part of that would be loyalty, affection, attention, free will, and choice of her. These are all just as important to me as her fitness and looks. If it's not here, I don't care how good looking she is. I don't want her. You got to be invited before you want to go somewhere. This is the training you should have had from childhood. I remember when we were children, my mother never took us anywhere when they were invited, unless the host by name invited us on the phone with mother and saying that, oh, make sure you bring Mehran as well. Then I was invited. But if I wasn't mentioned, my mother never took us. She said, you must expect to be invited. If you're not invited, you're not interested. It's a mentality. Same thing. I don't care how beautiful a woman is, your natural inclination is to want to be with her because she's beautiful. But if you're not invited, if she doesn't pay attention to you, if she doesn't choose you by free will, if you have to convince her, none of that means you would consider her worthy or qualified to pursue your natural inclination or natural attraction towards her. There has to be other things involved before you take step forward towards her. And those things are her attention, her choice, her free will, her allowing you to approach her by inviting you with her expressions and words and affections and whatever else that they have at their arsenal. So if you're not invited here, who cares? You see her in the church, so what? Just pass by, say, Jesus bless you, and let's go. If it's a monastery, says Buddha bless you, and go. You don't have to fall for it. Oh, she's here. Oh my goodness. So all you say is not because she did anything extra and special when you saw her. It's because your desire. Oh, I'm losing a chance. Because men have been a hunter since million years ago. And when they went for a hunt, and if some animal that they want to hunt and eat escapes, they feel anxiety. Oh, felt why? Because my food went away. They have the same feeling about women. Oh, my chance is away. So get anxious as soon as they see a woman who meets the attributes that they expect, their standards of attributes. You need to separate these caveman style desires and anxiety producing moments or situations. How? By expecting her to invite you before you go after her. No hunt takes place unless the woman invites you in one shape or another. That is clear invitation. Then you will pay attention to her, because then you know she has allowed you to present yourself to her. That's a respect to woman, at the same time, respect to yourself. You're not a Joe Blow in the street that you follow every pair of legs that you see. Those pair of legs should come from a mentality here that values you to pursue her, wants you to pursue her. Then you will make efforts. Otherwise, just because you're a man, you're not supposed to be what? Eating off the gutter. So, okay, you like woman, yes, but you like a woman who pays attention to you, not just because she's beautiful. All right. I hope that delivers what I want to deliver. And says, and see here, and to see in that I didn't, what? Church again, it's strange for me, kinda, since just because her mom, we are separated. By the way, she later told me that me not crying when she wanted to break up was a reason for her to see in that I didn't love her enough. She's fucked up in her brain. She wants to see you crying to be convinced that you love her. she can might as well go jump in the lake, because that expectation means she wants to dominate you, and she wants to simply have a certain kind of a power struggle in this relationship rather than bringing harmony and love and care and attention. She's got egoistic problems, ego problems. She didn't see you crying when she was breaking up with you. She's messed up. Let her go. Says, yeah, right, stupid, but still, I think she uses this as an excuse. If she needs to use any excuse whatsoever to not to be with you, that's not a woman that you should be wanting to be with. Simple. She really said that she just have to respect the idea of her mom. Oh, okay, then move on. Move on and never look back. This is your lucky day. Go count your stars and celebrate and move on. You just been handed a second chance for life. This woman was troubled because she doesn't want, you won't be marrying her if that was the path you were taking. You'd be marrying her mom. The mom would be making decisions, and that's going to be hell. Forget it. The mother has lost her husband. She's bitter. She's got some problems. She feels alone. She wants to now control the daughter, and through controlling the daughter, controlling daughter's man, which would in turn make her feel like she has a certain kind of a control on this man, which makes her feel a little bit secure. Don't fall in there. Move on. Mezumantal says, hi, my name is Tal 30 Israel. Shalom. Says, I have HOCD almost 20 years. From 10-year-old? Come and go. It's it's what? It is strat when I was, it started when I was 8. When I was 8 years old, and I had a book that explains the relationship between men. And I start afraid to be a Tal. You got to let me know you're a man or woman first. And says the relationship between men. And I start to be afraid to be gay. I see. First of all, in my opinion, it's a crime to put these books at the wrong time in the hands of children. Without children at that age don't know anything, and they are like a computer with no programming, no information, and they don't have any proper information to have any judgments. They don't know much about themselves, let alone the world and the differences that are out there, different lifestyles. So when these books are in their hands, or they're somehow are introduced to such concepts that is beyond their age, it's criminal, because they are fiddling with their natural upbringing or maturity, and whatever their gender is, they know it already, and interfering by introducing some information that is not relevant to them or appropriate to their age is not doing service to them, is not information, is actually misleading them and creating certain kind of a thoughts that they're not ready to be able to analyze. And they could create anxiety, they could create deviation from what their natural inclination is. They could create ideas that they're not ready to deal or understand. And these are all inappropriate time to introduce such topics of discussion to children of that age. They should allow children to naturally develop themselves, and they will know what it is about them or not. And but when you interfere and start instilling ideas in a mind of a child that otherwise is a heterosexual, but at that age doesn't know any difference between this and that because it's a child until about 9, 10, or 12 years old. They're not really that focused on these information or knowledge or differences. They're maturing, they're growing up, and whatever their gender is, they will naturally become aware of it if they are not already, which mostly are already aware of it at their age of 4-year-old, 5-year-olds and up. But interfering with it, with it, introducing such information at the wrong age is not beneficial at all. It's confusing, and it creates questions that is otherwise not going to uh, show up at that age, or if it does, it will be resolved on its own. But creating a written document, which to a child is fact because it's written, is prepared, is in the form of a book. Some authority must have put it out there. Must be legitimate because it's in form of a book, and it's these things affect the child's mind before he even reads the content. So I'm not agreeable for this information to be so freely available to children of that age, and I find it detrimental to a natural inclination of each individual child, whatever their inclination may be. So, and it says, yeah, but it says to be gay, men without shirt, and then I feel my what to do with my life. Maybe I am in denial all the time. My brain like the idea to be with men, but I'm not. See, there is a separation between brain and you. And the fact that you're asking this question right now, and the fact that you just mentioned there the question of relationship between men, and you say, my brain liked the idea to be with men, but I'm not. See, I'm not. The fact that you say that means there is an awareness of a contradiction. There is no awareness when there is no contradiction. What is this contradiction? The contradiction is between you and what the brain says. And the fact, it is proven scientifically, fact, that you're not the brain and brain is not you, it clearly makes you realize that the contradiction is between you, the awareness that knows you're not, and the brain, which brain is not you, but is conjuring up thoughts about something that you say, no, I'm not. This I am not is the awareness of the contradiction. And the contradiction naturally tells you that you are dealing with something that is contrary to your natural inclination. So 100%, you are who you are, not what the brain says you are or suggests or the thoughts that show up. Otherwise, there would be no awareness of this contradiction. You will not even notice there is anything different between the suggestion and what you are talking about right now. But because there is an awareness of the separation, of the contradiction between the suggestion and the preference of the brain that is conjuring up and what you are actually expressing, which is you're not, that tells you that simply you should disregard what the brain says, because brain is not you, you're not the brain, and you should understand the separation between brain and you, and understand the studies that was done by neurosurgeons and neuroscientists such as Dr. Sperry, Dr. Penfield, Dr. Owen, Dr. Libet in the laboratory, showing clearly, scientifically proven, that there are aspects of mind and you that the brain cannot even reach. So when the brain conjures up of an inclination that you are actually against, naturally, it simply shows you that the brain thought or suggestions are not representation of who you are, because you're not the brain, brain is not you. And if you were what the brain was suggested, there would not be an awareness of any contradiction, which there is an awareness right now because you notice the contradiction, you're talking about it. Capiche? I hope you understand. If you needed to talk to me, go on my site, make an appointment for an hour discussion. We will explore it together one on Skype. Nini says, thanks a lot. You're welcome, Nini. Anna. Anna says, I stopped taking to my book. Anna, I need to know age, gender, where you're tuning in. Oh, there it is. Female, 41, United States. Okay, thank you. So Anna says, I stopped talking to my boyfriend because Anna, were you American born or you immigrated? So I need to know the cultural background as well, and also, if it's necessary, I think the age of the boyfriend and the nationality or the cultural background of the boyfriend as well. So I stopped talking to my boyfriend because he was not giving me what I wanted. What is that? Now I'm still mad about how things ended. What should I do? Well, I don't know. What is it that you wanted? Was it reasonable what you wanted that he wasn't giving you? Was it about attention? Was it about love? Was it about, or was it something unreasonable that he couldn't give you, or he wasn't responsible to give you? Is he responsible to give you what you want at mature age of young, but mature age of 41? Why should he be responsible to give you what you want? But what is that thing? I don't know what it is. And Anna says, why I'm always thinking he's happy without me. Perhaps maybe because, again, I don't know the information, maybe because you held him responsible to how you feel or how happy you are or not happy you are, or the things that you wanted, rather than making efforts to create what it is that makes you happy within the framework confines of the relationship. So I don't have enough information, Anna. If you like, you can share some more, and if there's enough opportunity, I'll get back to it. Otherwise, you can go on my site, mind@seekstruth.com, make an appointment, and we'll discuss what's concerning you, explore it together one on Skype. Mezuman says, thanks much. You're welcome. Eddie says, hello. Hello, Eddie. Eddie, I need to know age, gender, where you're tuning in from. And um, what else do we have here? Drones or drones says, Drones says, regardless if you reply or not, I want to thank you so much. Your content is so unique. I'm so grateful. I found your channel. It's been a blessing these days. Well, you're welcome. I'm responding to. I did. I guess I did, but you have more information here. I guess, huh? Uh huh. Okay. Now let's get back to Doron. It says, how do you step in 5 years? Okay, but the possibility for her contact me is on my mind all the time, especially because she's unblocking me and blocking me social media. And which was a girl? Oscar, 32 years old, Peru. Hello, Meran. I've been watching your video. How can I stop waiting for my ex 5 years? Aha. Okay. So I'm caught up. Says the last 6 months of our relationship was full of arguments till I got tired of her attitude and distanced myself the last month before breaking up. Then I did that. When I did that, she showed interest. But I wanted her to change her attitude, so I didn't make it so easy for her. She asked me to see us and I told her I was busy. She got pissed and decided to make it official and break up. Regardless if you reply or not, I want to thank. Okay, so it seems to me that the battle is between the two egos, not between you two. The thing is, Dorones says, I ghosted her because of her attitude. She tried to reach, but I wanted her to value this chance. So the 2 times she asked me to talk, I told her I was busy. She got pissed and broke up. I don't want to block her because I don't want her to think she hurted me by not keep trying. But yeah, I know I shouldn't care about her options. Well, it seems to me that you've also been unreasonable. Okay, she was being an asshole attitude wise, and you distanced yourself, and she changed a little bit, and then you could have also let go a little bit and then start conversing and discussing. But your ego took better of you, and you wanted now to completely demolish the whole situation, change it in a jiffy. And that doesn't always happen. And sometimes needs some finesse and diplomatic approach and kindness and discussions. By force, nobody changes willingly. And if it's not willingly, they'll always come back to bite you in the ass because they'll always be the same person, but they just out of losing something or some fear of some kind, they complied, but that compliance is not on free will. And that's a whole discussion here. Your relationship on both sides should be based on free will. If it's convincing due to maybe depriving someone from the provisions that you were offering, or she deprives you from the kindness or the sex that she was allowing you to have, all these manipulations and controls are not based on free will. You make someone comply because of the need that they would feel they have, but not because of their heart. If relationship is not based on tenderness of the heart, there will always be something else that is going to replace you in there when the situation arises that would suit them better and is more comfortable, and they don't have to put up with the shit that you make them put up with. Now, it's either way, whether she puts you through shit or you put them through shit. So it seems to me that you started protecting your ego, thinking that that makes you a bigger person by destroying her bad manners in one shot, rather than discussing it with her, making her see how it looks. And with a smaller set of examples, you could have achieved the same results. But nevertheless, this has happened now, and you constantly want her to reach out. If you want to end it, and if you have all these anxieties and expectations and waiting for her to call you, but every time she did, you pushed her away, no, you weren't really that open either. So why don't you just send a message to her? Say, okay, I'm ready to talk now. If you're still interested to talk to me, come. Now, if she did, great, you guys talk it over. If she didn't, well, okay, then you move on. Because she was an idiot and you were an idiot as well. She wanted to talk, you didn't want. She had an attitude that you got tired of it. Eventually, you gave up. She came back and changed a little bit, and you didn't praise her on her good behavior. You still continued punishing her. And that also played on her ego, which meant she would just go away and not try anymore. Hmm? She tried a couple of times. You told her you're busy. So naturally, you worry about your ego, but what about her ego? You also, pissed on her ego. So, meaning she became defensive, you became defensive. So the two egos were at each other, but you both lost, or rather, you were out of the equation and just let your, bullshit ego to take over. So now, in order to see if you were right or wrong, just simply send a message to her. It doesn't kill you. You're a man. You're a man. Nothing happens to you. We do things for women. How come we go to wars and get killed? What do you think we go to wars for? For freedom? Yes. But also freedom of who? Women. We love women. We do things for them. So if you can go that far to provide a better situation in life for women, then you can also just send a message, say, okay, I'm ready to talk. I know you wanted to talk to me a couple of times. I was angry and I couldn't understand that it's important for us to talk rather than taking care of my ego. And so, therefore, I'm ready now. If you're interested to talk to me, I'm open to it. Very nice, cordial, and honest. And if she came back to, yes, I want to talk, you'll talk without ego. And ask her to put your ego at home and come here. I'll put my ego at home. I come here with my heart. Hmm? And then you talk. If it worked, great. If it didn't, fuck it. Move on. That's what I have to say about that. Now, you're asking another question. Meran, do you have an advice for improvement memory? Yeah, practice. Now, for extra stuff, you go on my site, make an appointment. God damn it, not everything is free. Now, all right. These are big conversations, so it can't be done here. It's already 245 minutes. I'm here another 15 minutes, guys, and that's it. I got to go do some exercise. I got to go to the gym and take care of myself. Oh, yeah, definitely. It's 4:16. All right. Eddie, age 27, Romania, Europe. Yeah, I know where Romania is. Eddie, what the hell? Says very similar situation to Drones. Great talk to listen. Okay, good. I'm glad that you enjoyed. So I guess we take care of you as well, Eddie. um, Dorna says kind of hard to send her a message now. The day she got pissed and broke up, that same day she added to her social media some guys that always were behind her and her new chat and her and she knew that that would annoy me. Yeah, okay, it doesn't matter. It's not difficult. She's probably trying to make you jealous. Okay, you're jealous. So what? You call her, you talk to her. If she says, yeah, I slept with the guy, then say, okay, fuck it, bye bye. If that's what you want. If she says, yeah, I put him because, you're chatting, but I'm not interested, I can take it off eventually. You say, okay. If she says, I just wanted to piss you off, say, okay, it did. Now you can take it off. Whatever. You can tell him to fuck off. Because no man likes other men hitting on his woman. So, and if the woman doesn't understand that, that's not the right woman. If the woman still seeks attention of other men when she's already committed to you, then that is not the strong woman that you want to be in a relationship with. Because you always got to have to go fight her battles rather than she uses her power and assertively gets rid of any fly or mosquito buzzing or hovering around her. That's her responsibility. Just as it is your responsibility to shun away a woman who want to hit on you, and there are many women who could express interest in you, and just because you're a man, that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. It happens in everyone's life, and just as the woman, the man is responsible to keep his surrounding, to know that he is committed to his woman, and he's unanimous on that. All right. So now everybody knows this channel has over 3,000 videos in regards to breakups and thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego. Talks about OCD subsets such as HOCD and whatnot. And we have elaborate many hundreds of videos on that topic, which they're on 2 playlists, and they're helpful to many thousands and thousands of people. And if anything more further about your breakup, your moving on, your relationship, your mentality, intrusive thoughts, and things that you want to talk about, HOCD, whatnot, you may go on my channel, on my site, www.mindthatseekstruth.com. Make an appointment for Skype consultation. For 1 hour consultation, I will add at least half an hour to it for the first time, and so we'll have ample time to get to know each other and explore what's concerning you one-on-one on Skype. Okay. Now, Eddie says, Mehran, thank you very, very much for your time. I can't wait for our appointment. There are several issues that you can shed some light on. By all means, Eddie, I will look for your registration and I will contact you on your Skype once I have those registration. So I look forward for our next live stream. In the meantime, I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. Looking forward for our next live stream. In the meantime, be good to yourself, and to the others, I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mind@seekstruth.com is making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon. But we too, like the iceberg, have 1,000 times bigger powers that is not visible, and we must. Why? Is it something we're rambling on and I expect you to accept it? Or is there actually another power within us? Would you come and help me out? Okay. What I want you to do is put your hands underneath my arms and just lift me up. There we go. Okay, now, that's my physical part, right? Same thing, again, with that. Just want to see if there's any difference. Go ahead. Now, go ahead. Now, this, go ahead, when you're ready.
Go ahead.
So you see, this is different than what he was doing, and I'm not really doing anything. You're convinced?
Yeah.
So are you guys convinced that there is something other than, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.